who would you take first in a playoff series? I would take Jokic. I would take my first pick in the Western Conference and maybe the league. If I was building a team to win a championship, he would be my first pick, and he's having a great year.
For the Denver Nuggets to be a 4 seed, him having Russell Westbrook playing his best basketball in year 17 or 18 or whatever it is, and winning games when they don't have the depth. Aaron Gordon is out, and just his plus minus, the net rating comparisons, it's hard not to have Jokic at the MVP this year.
Cheated way in.
Jokic going to throw it up from way.
Got it! Oh my! Nikola Jokic!
We become desensitized to Nikola Jokic's greatness, and I already know people are rolling their eyes, but this dude is on his way to potentially his 4th MVP in just the past 5 seasons, yet it doesn't feel he gets put on the same pedestal that past greats like LeBron, Steph, Kobe, Durant, MJ, etc. were all put on. I mean, if he wins a 4th MVP in the last 5 years, that would mark him with just LeBron and Bill Russell as the only players in league history to ever do that. Now, granted, he is behind our Aura King SGA for that crown as of now, and the odds are actually pretty shocking, with Shea being a comfortable favorite at minus 550, with Joker behind in second at plus 350. However, I don't think the actual resumes are as far as the odds suggest. Now, I would have no problem with Shea winning MVP. OKC is a league best 36-8 while still having battle injuries, particularly to their big men Chet Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein. So if Shea wins it, I totally think that's a solid pick, but it's hard to ignore the monstrous numbers number 15 is putting up in the Mile High City. So if you look at PER, which just stands for Player Efficiency Rating, probably the most used advanced stat, widely considered the best metric to measure overall success, the Joker holds the 2 best PER seasons in NBA history. His year this year being number 1, and his 2022 season right behind at number 2. Not only that, his 3 other seasons these past 5 years also all rank in the top 20 all time, with his 2023 season ranking 12th, 2021 at 15th, and 2024 last year at 20th. Of course, let's specifically again harp on the fact that this season this year ranks the best all time. Like, we can't glance over that. Ahead of iconic seasons like Wilt Chamberlain's in 1962 when he allegedly dropped 100 points, maybe we don't know if he actually did, which ranks 3rd, Jordan's 88 season at 7th, and LeBron's 2009 campaign, that's 8th. Then just look at the base stats from Joker. 30 points a game, over 13 boards and 10 assists on 57% from the floor and 48% from downtown. Like, did you hear what the I just said? 48% from downtown for a center, 57% from the field. Like, these numbers are baffling. Then we get to his on-off numbers, and this is what's by far the most impressive. You've probably heard a bunch of different times over the years from the NBA nerd Twitter community, nerd podcasts, etc. about how good the Joker's on-off numbers are. Well, here's a refresher. For the last 4 seasons now, the Joker's held the best on-off point differential in the entire NBA. That means the point differential per 100 possessions for Denver when he's on versus off the court is greater than any other players on any other team in the league. I hope you understand what I mean by that. Basically, if Denver outscores their opponents with 8 with him on the floor and then 2 without, the differential is obviously then 6. And this year, Denver is plus 26.4 points better per 100 possessions with him on the floor versus without. Holy shit, I am so tired of saying per 100 possessions. To put into context how crazy that is, per clean the glass, that point differential of plus 13.3 with Joker on the floor is at the caliber of a 67-win team. Obviously, then on the flip side, they get outscored by 13.4 points per 100 possessions when he's not on the floor, which equates to a 13-win team's net rating. And Nuggets fans will tell you, as I've seen, I read it from them, those minutes are just absolutely brutal without him. I mean, just look at those numbers. It speaks for itself. Now, speaking of the rest of the team, there's still major question marks about Denver's roster. It's no secret they've lost key pieces thanks to being tied down with 3 max contracts in the Joker, Jamal Murray, and then Michael Porter Jr., and Bruce Brown in the summer of 2023, KCP then this past summer. And that's shown as Denver has flirted around the 4 to 6 seed range for most of the season after being around the 1 spot for most of the previous 2 seasons. And I mean, they've had some embarrassing losses this season. The Joker dropped 56 points versus the then 2-18 Wizards, who were on a 17-game losing streak, and they lost. It even prompted Jokic postgame to, I think, jokingly say to reporters that where he's from in Serbia, you get your paycheck taken away for poor performance.
In my country where I'm coming from, after this kind of stretch, you're gonna get a paycheck that is a little bit less than usual. So maybe that's what we need to do. Maybe a little motivation.
Michael Porter Jr.'s made some headlines with the self-awareness he has, and knowing that this could be his last year in Denver if they don't win it all. He told ESPN's Ramona Shelburne back in November that, quote, "If we don't win it this year, we all know they might have to break it up." Yeah, Mike, we know you're talking about yourself. You're on a max contract. Your salary matches pretty much any stars around the leagues. It's like the perfect trade chip. I'm sure he's seen the rumors about Denver's interest in some stars around the league. A matter of fact, The Athletic reported in mid-December that MPJ would most likely be involved in any major Nuggets trade. Now, however, things have been on the up recently. They're 8-3 in the last 11 games. Jamal Murray's gotten his groove back after a slow start to the season, and Russ's insertion into the starting lineup has paid huge dividends for Denver. Let's start off with Russ. Denver is 18-7 this season with the Brody in the starting five, where he's averaging 15 points a game, over 7 assists, and over 6 boards on 53% shooting. Talk about a steal. I remember reading after that first game when he played horrible versus OKC, I think he had like 0 points or 2 points, something like that an NBA scout thought he should retire. That's cold. Not to mention the fact that this offseason, they were able to sign him for a vet minimum contract. Nobody really wanted Russ, but thanks to Denver's unique ability to play with 2 non-shooters on the floor at once, thanks to Jokic, has made him so effective. Like, for all the people who claim to miss the 2010s NBA so much, watch Denver's offense. They ranked, I think they're dead last this year in 3-point attempts per game, but yet they're still always a perennial top 5 offense. Then, since November 26, I know, a very specific weird date, Jamal is back to his typical self after his poor play in last year's playoffs at the Olympics, and to start the season, he's averaging 21 points, 6 assists, and 4 boards on 48% shooting and 40% from downtown. After in the first 13 games of the season, shooting just 40% from the field and 34% from downtown. So we'll see if Joker and Denver are able to make some noise in the playoffs this year. In the meantime though, it feels we as NBA fans have become desensitized to the Joker's production. I mean, he put up an absurd stat line the other night of 35 points, 22 boards, and 17 assists, joining Wilt Chamberlain as the only other player in league history to put up a stat line that good or better. And I honestly, when I got that noti, wasn't even surprised. It's like, I quite literally have become desensitized, like this title says, like I've said like 2 times in this video already, of his production. Maybe it's just a me thing, but I don't know. The shock factor of a triple-double has felt lost now ever since Russ just did it every night in 2016. Because when he dropped 56 versus the Wizards in a loss, that actually shocked me. But something about seeing 20 whatever rebounds and whatever team number assist, it just doesn't hit the same ever since Russ, normalized it in the mid-2010s. Jokic has just become so good where it's broken our minds. Don't miss new episodes of the Step Through Show dropping daily Monday to Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 Pacific, or you're gonna make our Aura King Shay cry.